All right, welcome back. Welcome back. We're talking about Regina Daniels and Ned Nwoko, whose marriages have scattered. Ned Nwoko, 85, allegedly between 60 and 85 years old. And Regina Daniel, who is somewhere between the ages of 17, allegedly, and 25. I don't know what timeline we're in. We're covering their story. They were married, they have kids together. Well, they're still married. She's like the fifth, sixth wife or something like that. So we're just, if you want the rest of the story, go watch the other videos we've done some work in covering this story in detail. Anyway, Ned Nwoko released some statements we've been reading that go to the previous segment if you want to find them. I'm continuing. He said, this pattern of behavior made it almost impossible for her to recover. Each time progress was made, they would undo it by smuggling in the same drugs she was fighting to give up. Their entire household lived in tension and fear because of their constant harassment, interference, and disregard for boundaries. It will be interesting to know her reasons for the violent behavior in the house the day that Sammy and other siblings came and attacked my staff and security, taking Regina away after doing a video which they posted the next day. Why did they do that video? Why did they post it? That's a good question. That is not a question we can disregard. What was the motive behind that question? Was it to save Regina? Are these kids unhinged? I'm talking about the siblings. Are they unhinged? I think they are. Okay. I think that Sammy of a kid is reckless. And I think Sammy might be trying to save the sister, but Sammy is dangerous to Regina. Anybody here in your family that operates from a place of emotions, in the name of they're trying to save you, they're going to make matters worse for you. Write this down, take it to the bank. I'm not saying he deserved to be locked up for days. He deserved what Nigeria is a society. They have ways of doing things. Jungle justice slash the most powerful man who has the most money type of deal. Everybody uses that when they are the one that have the upper hand. Everybody arrests everybody with the police if they could. In fact, they will use soldier to arrest their neighbor if they could. In fact, a senior gateman will oppress a junior gateman if they could. That's a society where they live in, and Sammy and Regina knew that. And they are adults. Sorry. Okay? Let's keep going. Why did they do that video? Social media might be the only type of power that they have. Might be the only type of influence that Regina has. Because she has this 50 million monitoring spirits, majority of which seems that they've been judging her for the past few days. It is what it is. Okay? They simply planned and orchestrated a script all in my absence, regardless of the fact that my kids were there. They took away many things from my house, including one of my phones, money, and many other items. Everything that happened that day was, and she knows. Now, a wife who is happily married to you will not do any one of these things. In fact, she will fight her siblings against you. Okay, I know this because I've experienced this, and I've also been in a place where my influences were not good enough, and then she decided to rest on the other side. So I know what I am talking about. Polygamy, monogamy, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. The only thing is that if you don't know how to manage one wife, there's a good chance that your life will be chaotic by the time you get to sixth wife times 1 million times over. So, and she knows that I do not want her in our room, that condition. Okay, we'll continue some other part here. I asked her to go to her room. Okay, we missed something. They put something out of order here. Let me see. Okay, let me see here. Sammy and other siblings came, attacked my staff. Okay, I'm just going to read it. She knows I do not want her in my room in that condition. Remember that part we jumped from where she was in the room and then she was high. So he didn't want her in his room in that condition, being high. I asked her to go to her room and she told me that Sammy's girlfriend was in her room. I was alarmed and angry because that girl should never have been in my house. The moment you find yourself trying to chase your family and friends of your wife out of your house, know that there's problems. There's fire on the mountain. That issue is not going to be as simple as restricting them from coming to your house. You better seek wise counsel. This is applicable to all marriages and long-term relationships. Okay, it's not, gentlemen, it's not going to be as simple as saying, that's your friend, I don't want to. How do I know? Because I've done it before. It doesn't work. Well, it's because of you, Ola. It didn't work for you, but it did work for me. How can it work for you when you are chasing your wife's friends away? It can work for you only short term. It can't work long term. She will build resentment. You need to get to the root of the issue. Okay, why are you at odds with your wife? What is it that she thinks she wants? Because I know that's how you like to say it. What is it that she wants? Have you ever taken the time to hear it out? I mean, you're like, no, it doesn't matter what she wants. She's a wife. She should stay in her husband's house. And, well, yeah, that's not going to fly. Not even with your children. How much more a wife with 50 million monitoring spirits? I mean, followers. It's not going to work. It's just, I don't know if they never told you. It has never worked. It will never work. And especially in social media age, it won't work, okay? Maybe it would have worked when you could shield her away and hide her away, isolate her away from the rest of the world. But that's not feasible in this time and age. Sorry. Okay? It doesn't mean you can't be a leader. It just means you're a weak leader in this time and age. That's all it means. I told Regina that the girl had to leave, and one of my drivers dropped her off. That's the girl that was in her room. 30 minutes later, Sammy came to my house, shouting and demanded that I come downstairs to face him. I believe Sammy did that shit because it was actually done on the internet before he was arrested. He said I had no right to ask his girlfriend to leave my house. No be juju. Let me take a deep breath, guys.
No be juju be that.
All right. Okay. Problems you are. Pressure tiwa.
Everything I do, I will. Pressure tiwa.
It doesn't matter how macho you think you are. I would be pissed off if somebody come to my house and do that. Say I can't tell. No, if you question my authority in my house, that would take me off. Okay, it's gonna take everything in me. Don't let me say what I would do, okay? Because I'm a Nigerian man too. Anyway, he was ranting and threatening. He said I had no right to ask his girlfriend to leave my house. He was ranting and threatening, waking up everyone, including the children. I eventually went downstairs and had to instruct the security to physically push him out of my compound. Baba, I will do the same thing though. I'm just telling you right now. The level of audacity was shocking. But now I'll be careful doing that, because if the problem in your marriage is that deep already, yes, that's the problem with your marriage, not with the brother. And I need you to understand that, gentlemen. That problem we're looking at is not a Sammy problem. Sammy seems like he has nothing to lose. Okay, you have a lot to lose, Ned. That problem is your marriage problem. Okay, I would be careful, because if you push our brother out like that, if there are other options, I will explore those other options. I will assess the situation, try to calm things, de-escalate. That's what leaders do, right? De-escalate and then, get above my ego. Sometimes you have to do that for the long-term win. You have to have the foresight to see what I'm saying. If you're just busy worrying about your ego short-term, of course, you'll kick her out, put your foot down, like all this nonsense that only lasts on social media. Social media, modern African traditional men. All that stuff is not going to work in real life, okay? If anything, it works short term. Again, they will scatter your life. Your life will be chaotic. You will have to be writing stupid letters days later. PR crisis. PR chaos. That's not what a senator wants, obviously, right? It could be taking care of Nigerians or his constituency, not writing stupid letters to appease people that really don't care. We care. We want to extract lessons here anyway. Let's continue. So he said, I eventually went downstairs and had to instruct the security to physically push him out of my compound. The level of audacity was shocking. Without the influence of drugs, could he have been so bold and disrespectful? They did not stop there. On several occasions, they verbally assaulted and intimidated the police officers stationed at the house of security for security. The officers were simply following instructions to restrict access for the sake of Regina's recovery. But Sammy and his group would insult and threaten them. Whenever Regina wanted to go out and I was not around, she would become extremely hostile toward the towards the what you call it. Let me see here. Sorry, guys. She would be extremely hostile towards the police and domestic staff. She would shout, threaten, and use abusive words, insisting that she must leave the house no matter what. Okay. We got some of those letters out. I'm not sure if we got it all out. Okay. So then they said they were at least too serious. Okay, we already read that one. As our reasons continue with drugs, this pattern of behavior made it almost impossible. We've seen that. Everything that happened that day was in my house in my absence. Okay, here we go. So let me continue now. I can see the rest of it on Instablog Ninja. They simply planned and orchestrated everything. Everything that happened that day was in my house, in my absence. Nobody was beaten and nobody could have contemplated that. It is blatantly false to say that I sent thugs to beat Regina in another house. No, we didn't say it was true. We just knew there was more to the story. That's all. And we kind of suspected you would come and tell on yourself. Bye-bye. The video that went viral was filmed entirely in front of my house by Regina's sister and her friends. It was a pure Nollywood scenario in front of my property in my absence. Sammy should have a life of his own outside of Regina and pursue his career. Yes. When his brother Lawrence went to London a couple of years ago to do his master's, I also offered the same opportunity to Sammy, but he declined and insisted he wanted to stay in Nigeria and pursue his career in music. I believe that. They've been singing Trying to Blow in the past few days, by the way, before he was picked up by the authorities. He has been arrested a few times by the police and the EFCC. He needs a total rehab. Otherwise, his violent behavior will continue. All right. Asisolo Mobuchi has something to say. He said, if this is true, then it's such a shame. The whole family just rubbished themselves because they thought they caught a big fish. Last, with husband and wife fight, only them know the truth. God help all those involved. They don't know what they're doing. A 60-something-year-old man does not know what he's doing, even though polygamy is supposed to be the end-all, be-all. I know what I'm doing. A 60-something-year-old man does not know what he's doing when it comes to marriage, even though he has options. He could have been spending time, have a very strong belief that the rest of the wives are not there. They're not with him. Somebody confirm that for me, please, if that's true. The rest of the family are not there. I mean, the rest of the wives, they're no longer with him. I have a very strong belief in that. Polygamy is not the enemy. It's either you're trash or you're trash. You don't know what you're doing, you can multiply your problems by going and marry a second wife. Or worse, you divorce one and go and marry the second one. That actually is worse a lot of times. So the labels we give what type of style of marriage doesn't matter. It's your skills when it comes to interpersonal relationships. If you don't have those kind of skills, it gets worse when you're entering each other's kwekus and bola. It gets worse. Because family we are age mates. It doesn't matter if we're 50 years apart. Are you mad? It doesn't matter. Anyway, let me come to the chat. Oh, shout out to everybody in the chat. Hey, Misty. Thank you, Misty. I see you, Misty. BB's here. I think that's BBB, the BGM. I'm not sure, but shout out to BGM. Very funny. Isn't this the same uncle who said he pitied men with only one wife? Interesting. He said that last week. He said it's like having two legs, or what's the 3 legs of a table? Oh God. I always tell you guys, Prestige family, all you have to do is wait long enough. They will tell on themselves. Just wait a little bit long enough and they will tell on themselves. Just allow them to do their shalaye in peace. They will tell on themselves.
We go explain because no evidence.
You see, the reality is that none of them are innocent. Okay, the only thing we can see is that there's power imbalance, and that also tends to facilitate abusive behavior. So I'm not going to question that there was abusive or abuse in that relationship. I'm also going to tell you right now that Regina had abused that relationship, if you can call it one, but I don't know what he expected, from a young girl that has not lived life, and then it has 15 million monitoring spirit on the internet. At some point, that will get in her head. Anybody that has any level of follower, at some point, it gets in your head. No, it's 100%. It's an absolute. See, I rarely ever say absolutes. If you have any amount of followers, I don't care if it's 100 followers, it gets in your head. How much more 15 million? So it takes humility intentionally. Say, hey, you know this as a thing. You don't say, no, me, I'm just a determined person. I will never. Once you say I will never, first of all, that's automatically a lie. Once you say never or always, that's automatically a lie. There's no absolutes. Okay. There's a few of them, like I was just saying. I almost contradicted myself. There's a few absolutes. One of those absolutes is that if you have 100 followers, it gets in your head. Okay. So now it looks like him struggling to manage his polygamous home. He can't even handle 25-year-old. Wala. Shout out to Samuel. I say, Samuel, please don't injure Somadina. I didn't get that. I may be missing some context, guys, here. I just had to cover the material first. The man did not know he's disgracing himself. No, he doesn't know. He's telling on himself. There are better ways to do this. This is not his consistency matter. He should have stayed focused, patient, and figure out how to manage this outside of the police. The police are messy. Nigerian police is messy. They're going to mess things up for you in the name of their obeying your rules. They're going to and that's fair. That's not their responsibility to manage your PR for you. That's your responsibility, and that's what they're trying to do with this letter. This letter right here.
We go explain because no evidence.
They probably finished knocking after she had injected her allegedly, and she was acting on it. Wala. He probably enjoyed that type of knocking too when she was under the influence. Probably, allegedly. Allegedly. More monitoring spirit. She married the girls when she was small. Senator that cannot handle his family is not worthy to represent Nigeria in any place. This is a fact, but we have a chunk of them, and then we wonder why Nigeria is struggling to get out of its funk. It's difficult. It will be difficult, because they can't even manage a simple home, or they can't manage a simple home. So, hey, cool mama, good to see you. Good to see you. D, what did I say? Did I tell her myself? I'm sorry. Hey, we're humans here. We're humans. She's an actress. She's an actress. Let me see. Bedwin said he should leave her alone. She says she's no more interested in the marriage. He should let her go. He should let her go. Why did he want her to go to rehab? He shouldn't be interested in her case. She's now his ex. Wait, who is talking? Base went.
You doing what?
Nigerian politicians and power, they are 5 and 6. You have to keep in mind that they have never seen social media before. Many of them are not really on social media. They have people managing it for them. They don't know how much of a beast this thing is. And when you combine that with power, absolute power corrupt absolutely. Yeah, he can't comprehend what we're talking about. Yeah. That man go collect. Maybe not him, but somebody at some point is going to collect badly from the negative sides of social media. It's going to be bad, terrible, But we don't know who is going to be the first. We've seen some, but nothing heavy yet. Right now, from history, what we can see that is probably going to get away with this. Nigerians are going to forget in 2 weeks and move on to other stories. And she will give up on trying to get her children, like Precious, and she will accept and settle for just being able to see the kids occasionally, because actually in many Nigerian culture the man owns the children, and they will uphold that in courts in Nigeria, sadly. But maybe we should educate our girls. They should know these things before they go jump into. She said she fell in love. She said, I fell in love. I cannot believe I fell in love. Yeah. Uncle Beno, good to see you, my brother. How are you, sir? This man is wicked, though, taking away her support system. They say, yeah, he's probably trying to like all the weapons that she could use, aka Sammy. He's removing them. Okay, he's going to try to isolate her and try to get her back, and then try to get her to apologize, and then they will come back. I mean, this is a playbook. Ask Femi Fanikari, and they will say, everything is good and fine now, and then yeah, social media is not your mates. Go and tell your politicians social media is not their mates. They haven't seen it yet, but it's coming. Okay, attention, human attention. Okay, it's not your mate. Okay, if you have anything you care about in this life that involves the public relations is a big deal. Okay, so it is not your mate. He was grooming her. This man is wicked. Wala wala wala. Yeah, unfortunately in Nigeria, I don't know how far we're going to go with that. You know, I don't know how far we can go with that. I hope the only thing we can pray for is that it's time. We can start using it to hold people accountable in Nigeria. But remember, Nigeria exists the way it exists because the whole system subscribes to it. Everybody at every class level subscribes to it. Again, if you don't believe me, just look at how the senior gate man is oppressing the junior gate man whenever they get a chance. Okay, yeah, there's a story that they've been using to drag Regina over the past 24 hours. Correct me if I'm wrong. They said she was happy. There was one guy that was arrested because the guy was insulting Regina, and they used the same power to arrest that guy. And she was enjoying all of that, including crying inside a Lamborghini. It is what it is. Somebody said the house that he bought was in his name. Yes, I can believe that. I can believe that because of the day that we need to pull out the financial abuse weapon. It has to be kept in their name so they can easily kick her out back into the streets. Yeah. Karim says, we don't care if he's sponsored in marriage, it's not by force. His PR team are a bunch of lames. I agree 100%, D. But what do you expect? The PRs were not imported. See lame talk from a sitting senator, Prince and Elder. I don't even know. Some of the people that want to cry in a Lambo, and I don't see how sweet cry in a Lambo is. Baba, I don't know if they are listening. No, I hope they are listening. I don't think those kind of girls are here. I don't know. These ladies that are hanging out in this prestige family they might be struggling in relationship, but these are solid people. We all struggle in relationship in the 21st century because we're entering a zone that we didn't really understand. Really, it's very simple. You need to understand value, influence, self. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Long term, a balance of short term and long term. There are things you can do that get you reward short term, and there are things that get you reward long term. You need to find a balance between the two. Don't let anyone tell you that marriage is not about happiness. That's a lame talk. Okay, happiness is not the problem here. Happiness is, after all, a fleeting thing. It goes and comes. So that's not. Don't try to talk people out of happiness here in the name of you want them to stay in a marriage. It's lame talk. What did you do before you get married? It doesn't matter. It's what are you doing today? Today is the card you are dealt. Okay, the only thing you should be extracting from the past is lessons, not using what you were not there to judge them. A lot of people marry for the wrong reason. What are you talking about? Okay, all of us have been in a position where we can say we marry for the wrong reason. Your girl was a fine girl. Well, did that cloud my judgment? You best believe it. Did I get into a space where I finally realized this is real life? Yes. Well, am I lucky to a large extent? Yes. Did I also have to apply skills to a large extent? Yes. I'm also a computer engineer. I'm also a lucky computer engineer, but I worked hard to get that certificate. You're not going to sit around and say it's just luck. No, there are things you can do. There are patterns. The patterns across the board in all of these generations is value system. Value system type shit. Thank you, Jerry Samuel. Value system type shit. What do you mean by value? Moral value? No, that's your own stupid idea of morals anyway. Okay, yes, moral. You should have morals. That's not what we're talking about. Just because you're a good guy doesn't mean anything. But because you're a virgin, more in the grand scheme of things. It's a good start for you. Shout out to yourself. Congratulate yourself. But you need skills when it comes to human relationships. Okay? When it comes to conflict resolutions, you need skills. It's going to test your patience. You're going to feel like heaven is about to fall out of the skies. Why? Because you fell on the quote unquote the wrong bola. What do you want to do? Run away? Yeah, it's not going to be that easy. Let me go ahead and drop my link at this point in time. Sorry, guys. I should have remembered. I forgot. We're getting back to business as usual. I got time. If you want to come in and talk, we got some other content to cover, but feel free if you want to call in and talk. If you're brand new here, join the Prestige family, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Okay, I'm going to pin the link to the top. I'm going to pay a quick 30-second bill, and I'll be right back. This is Ola, man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag, yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.